Welcome back to Pink Turtle Soaps. I do apologize that you had to wait so long for another upload, but I promise I will make it worth your wait. Tonight I am making a unicorn soap inspired by my daughter. She just started pre-K and she's in that phase where everything is either mermaids or unicorns. So this is sort of a soap just for her, but I know that there's a lot of other kiddos out there that love unicorns, and I've been so excited to get this soap going. I've got a lot of ideas for this soap, so I'm excited to show you guys. The fragrance that I'm using is Black Raspberry Vanilla. It's a tried and true fragrance. It smells wonderful, and I knew I could trust it with this soap. I wanted to use something that I had used before, and a lot of my customers really like the fragrance, so it was a win-win. I want this entire bucket to be white, so I actually already added my titanium dioxide to my lye water. So the titanium dioxide that I use is water soluble, so adding it to my lye water really just saves me a step. So our first step is to add the lye water into our oils and blend them together. Now that everything is nice and blended together, I'm going to split this bucket into 3 smaller ones. Okay, so now that I've split that big bucket into 3 smaller ones, I'm going to add our colorants. And all of the colorants that I use come from Nurture Soap. So if there's any colors that I use, I'll leave a link in the description where you can check them out yourself. They have the best colorants in my opinion. That's all I've ever used, and they're really affordable and the quality is great. So I'm going to start with a little bit of pink vibrance in this one, a little bit of purple vibrance in this one, and in the third one I'm going to add blue vibrance. And then into each of these, I'm going to add just a little bit of gold dust and viral glitter. And that's going to look like gold flakes inside the bar. Pretty similar to how I did the Halloween soap, but instead of silver, it's going to be gold, and I think it's going to look amazing. So I'm going to give these a really quick blend with the stick blender, going from lightest to darkest. Alright, so the blue is exactly how I want it, but I think I'm going to add just a little bit more purple and pink just to make them pop a little bit more. Okay, so my soap is setting up really quick, which I actually intended for that to happen. Anytime that you use titanium dioxide, chances are your soap's going to set up a little faster, but I actually wanted that to happen with this soap. So I'm just going to go in and scrape down the sides, get all the colorant off. I don't think that blue could have turned out more perfect. At least these are the colors I see the most in all of the unicorn stuff that my daughter owns, which is a lot. You really have no idea. Alright, so now I'm going to add the fragrance oil, and I'm going to mix that in by hand because I don't want this to set up too thick, but I did want it to be thicker than I normally do with my drop swirls. A lot of the time I like for my colors to be pretty like watery or liquidy, but that really causes them to do like a marble swirl, and I don't want that for this soap. I really want to try to keep the colors pretty separate, and that works best if you have your soap at a thicker consistency. So now I'm just going to blend that in by hand, and I will bring you guys back when it's time to start pouring. Alright, so I have my molds here ready to pour, and I think I'm going to start with this blue color. Pour quite a bit of that in the bottom. And then come in with the pink. This fragrance smells so yummy. Notice that most fragrance suppliers carry some version of Black Raspberry Vanilla. It's really, really popular. Come in with this purple. And right now it sort of looks a little gray, but after the soap hardens up, it will look more purple. so both of my molds are completely full, so I'm going to scrape out my buckets and I will come back when it's time to pipe the soaps. Before we get started piping these soaps, I wanted to take a second to show you what's going to go on top. So each bar is going to get a unicorn, either purple, pink, or blue. And in between each layer of the piping, I'm going to take this really shiny, shimmery silver mica. I'm going to spray it down really heavily between each layer, so hopefully when you cut the bar open, you'll be able to see the shiny silver in the middle of the piping. Fingers crossed that that works, but it's okay if it doesn't. I just want to give it a try. Okay, so now that the piping's done and the embeds are in, I'm going to add the glitter. And I'm using pink, purple, and blue, all of which is biodegradable. I'm actually going to spray it down really quick with some rubbing alcohol, make that piping nice and sticky. And then I'm going to finish it up with some silver hollow glitter. And I'll actually bring you in for a close-up so that you can see the unicorns a little bit better. There they are, all lined up nice and neat. Then on that side, there's all of the glitter. I'm really excited to cut this one up, and we'll be back in about probably 24 hours. It'll be ready to cut up, and I can't wait. So we are back about 2 days later, and this soap is ready to cut up. I honestly forgot how good this fragrance smells. It's very fruity, but it has that undertone of vanilla. It smells really, really good. I have to be really careful not to hit the unicorns. They do sit up rather high on the bar. Okay. Pull out this first bar. Here's what the inside looks like. And you can just barely see those gold flakes on the inside. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but you can see them in person. Line up this next bar. Have to be careful not to hit those unicorns. And it turns out you can't really see that silver mica in between the layers of the piping, which I figured there was a chance that would happen, but I thought I would try anyways. There's an up close on the unicorn, and all of these unicorns I made myself using glycerin soap, and I hand painted all of them. You can see the little eyeball and the gold horn. This took me about 3 hours to paint all of these, but I think it was definitely worth it. It just really brings life to those unicorns. So let's go ahead and cut up the rest of this loaf and see what kind of swirls we've got. an up-close look at those swirls. I'm definitely feeling the unicorn vibe with those colors. And there's an up-close shot of the pink unicorn, the blue unicorn, and the purple unicorn. Then you can see all of that glitter on the top. The silver, pink, blue, and purple. I had to do all of them. I couldn't just choose one. And like I said, you can't really pick up those gold flakes on camera, but you can see them in person. Normally this is when I end the video, but we still have one more step for these bars.
Alright, for this clip I will be doing a voiceover. My neighbor's dog was being way too loud and my camera was picking it up. Alright, so the next step for the soap is to use a star stamp that I got off of Etsy. I mixed vodka with shimmer gold mica to make sort of a paint consistency. You can use rubbing alcohol, but I find that vodka works a little bit better. Rubbing alcohol tends to evaporate too quickly. So I take the first bar, and I'm sorry that you can't see it too well in this clip. Press down pretty hard. These soaps had set out for about a week and a half, and it's always more ideal to stamp your soap as soon as you cut it, and I didn't have that option. My stamp hadn't come in the mail yet. So there it is, and of course my camera is out of focus. I do apologize for that. But it left a beautiful star-shaped stamp in the middle of the bar. And so I'm doing it to the next one. If you notice, that poor little purple unicorn lost part of his horn. I don't know what happened to it, but it's an easy fix. Just going to take that stamp again, press down pretty firmly with even pressure. And there's that bar. Again, the camera is out of focus. And if it looks like the mica is a little bit chunky, it's because it is. But that's an easy cleanup, and I'll show you here in a minute how I do that. We're going to do the last bar. I find that this is a really fun process, and I think I'm going to incorporate more stamps in the future. I thought this would be a fun soap to try it out on. I think I struggled with this one a little bit. Press down pretty hard. And there's that one. I absolutely love how it looks. I'm trying to get the camera to focus. There it is. You can see those chunks of mica, and it's easily removed. You just take a paper towel and wipe it off. And there's me cleaning off the soaps, like I just said. It may look a little smeary, but I didn't really try to make it perfect because you'll see the next step here in just a second. It won't be that noticeable. I find that using a stamp just adds a little bit of detail to your design. So in these cups I have shimmer gold mica mixed with vodka, and I have titanium dioxide mixed with water. And I cover up the top, the piping part, just to keep it as clean as possible. Take a toothbrush and I mix it around. Yeah, that's the titanium dioxide that I chose to do first. And I do a paint spatter on top of the bar and all over my table, as you can see. And then I grab the gold color. It leaves a really cool design on the bar. And next I have the shimmer gold mixed with vodka. And I'm going to do the same thing to the bar. I don't want to do it too much. I don't want to distract from the swirls inside the soap. But I did want to achieve sort of a stardust galaxy look. And in person, these soaps are absolutely beautiful. As you can see, I sped up the process here, and I'm just doing the same thing to the other bars. It's an easy way to jazz up your soaps, so I highly recommend using this technique if you're looking for something new to try out. If you'd like to grab yourself a bar, these will be available at pinkturtlesoaps.com November 1st at 8 a.m. If you like soap making videos, be sure to subscribe, and you can click the little bell icon, and that will notify you every single time that I put up a new video, which is every single Wednesday, so there's always new content coming around. And leave me a comment below. Tell me where you're from, or tell me your favorite soap making video. I like to hear from you guys and chat, so leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.